Okay, we're going to do the 90-degree T branch, and it's located on J1, page 5. And there's a step-by-step all the way through here how to do this one. So we've got a cylinder intersecting a cylinder here, and then it shows us steps all the way through. For this one here, it's just a single line drawing, and it's going to have a wrap pattern here for the cylinder coming down, and we're going to do a hole pattern for this as well. Hole patterns are generally not necessary, because generally you can just put the cylinder on there, trace it out, remove this, and then cut your hole. And then depending if the cylinder comes through, then you'd be cutting the outside of the material, or if you just want the inside of the hole, you'd be cutting the inside of the cylinder. So you got to think about material thickness there as well. And then material thickness here, again for your stretch out, if this had a thickness to it, we'd have to go to the middle of the plate to do this, to get our lengths, to have a flat pattern. Otherwise, we can just draw it to the outside, and we can just wrap that around our cylinder after it's rolled up. So a couple different ways to draw your lines, or where to draw your lines to. Depends on your material thickness. So again, step by step all the way through here. Okay. We have on page 27 here, our dimensions. The same with the last one, we just made it a little taller, so we're going to go 100 instead of the 70. We got 100 here for a cylinder. We're 50 over, we're on center, and then our height's a little higher. So we got 50 here for a diameter, 50 and an 80. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw. So the biggest or hardest thing with drawing is making sure that it's going to fit on your page. So I've already kind of guesstimated where it was going to go. So I'm going to go up 50 here for my baseline. And we'll draw a baseline at 50. So 50 millimeters up. And then we're going to go 10 millimeters over. I'll just keep it away a little bit. 5 or 10 doesn't really matter. This one will go 10. We have the 100, so I may as well mark that. Mark the 100, and we'll mark the 50 here as well. Let's get going on that. So here's our center line. That center line's actually got to go all the way down, because I'm going to do my hole pattern right here. Same with this one. I'm just going to bring this one all the way down as well. And same with this one here as well. Again, just make sure that T-square is tight up against the one side. There we go. This was an 80 diameter for this one. So we'll come up 80. Okay, so we've created this rectangle here. Like I said, this is out of proportion. It shows 80 here and then the 100, so obviously this is not into proportion here. And we're going to come up 100, so we need a center here as well. So let's create a center line. So that one's 80, so we'll have 40. Create that center line, and we'll draw this center line through, because we're going to draw the side view right here. I don't think I need that, and we'll do the other pattern up over here. Okay, so we're 100 from the center. Right there. Draw the top of our cylinder. And that one was fairly small, it was a 50, so we're 25 on either side. So 25 and 50 there. And again, I'm going to bring these all the way down because we're going to end up doing a hole pattern down below here, so maybe we'll just bring all these down right now, otherwise I'll have to do them later. This will be my hole pattern area. Drop those down. A few lines there, so it gets a little bit confusing. I don't know if you can maybe put a center line there just to clarify where those are. We're going to need a side view over here as well, and then we're going to need some element lines. So let's go ahead and maybe just do the side view first here. Try to keep my tools out of the way here. So I'm just going to go 10 millimeters away. Again, that's going to be an 80 diameter for that one. Half of that is 40. So we'll draw a circle there. And we're going to need a center line there as well. They're already set from the last one. Double check just to make sure your measurements are accurate. There we go. Make sure you don't have any twisting in your compass. There we go. And then we're just going to need to put our cylinder on top here. So this actually comes all the way over. Actually, I may as well measure over here now and come up with that. So 25 and 50. And this will be for our cylinder, that our smaller cylinder. I don't think we have to go all the way down because we're just going to be using the lines off of here. So we'll just come up with that one there. Just till it touches the circle. I just wanted to make sure I was high enough for those. This one's going to have to be extended. And that happens sometimes. Try to always make your construction lines as long as possible. And then we're going to have to set this to 50. Make sure that's as accurate as possible. Check from side to side. There we go. We're going to need one over here as well. The only reason we need this front view is because we're doing a hole pattern. Otherwise, we wouldn't need the front view. Let's go ahead and divide this up, put our element lines on, same as we did the last one. Just keep that radius. Come from the center, the edge of your circle, just like that there at the edge. Make a mark, come over to the other quadrant over here, and let's make a mark there. And the exact same thing here over on the other side. Okay, now that their circles, half circles are divided, we can bring our element lines down. So we'll do the wrap for this here first. We'll do this pattern, and then we'll do the other whole pattern there, I think, after. So let's just concentrate on this one over here. We're only going to have to go till it intersects the cylinder. Realistically, we only needed a half pattern, or a half drawing here, but we ended up doing the whole thing. So that's how it was in the example, so we'll just keep to that. It'll work out well. I'm just looking for the numbering here. Sorry about that. Just when we get to this, the 1 through 7, I just wanted to make sure that was the same. Just not to confuse anybody. Okay. So this is 50, so we got to take 50 times pi. I'm trying to keep my tools off here too. 50 times pi, so 157. That'll be our stretch out length. And we can just come right off of here as well. And I think we actually have lots of room here, so 157 doesn't seem to be an issue. So we can easily come over there. 40, we'll just come 40 over, it'll be an easy way to do that. So we're going to keep this, the top here as this baseline, so we'll just use this right here, we'll extend that over, and we're going to have to divide this out as well into even spaces. Again, it's only this tall, but I'll just come down to this line down here. That'd be good. Now basically what goes into 157 with the 12, so 12 times 15 is 180, so it's pretty easy to count in 15s. Otherwise, if you're 12 times 20, you're 240 and you're off the page, so that doesn't really work very well. So let's go ahead and just do the 180 here. I'll just divide this out, and again, just randomly sticking it on this line. It really doesn't matter where I stick it along this line, as long as I just have a 180 line there. So really doesn't matter if I come out here or here, as long as it fits on the page over here. Oh, sorry, it does matter here a little bit. Yes, it does. So 157, we do have to mark that first. Sorry, 157. Sorry, our 180 does have to come off of here, so I guess it will hit. Sorry, I just got a little ahead of myself there. So 180 here at the 157 on this line, just like that. And then we'll just go every 15. 15, 30, 35, 60, 65, 90. There we go. Now these only have to be this long, but I'm just going to bring them all the way down. And again, I'm just making all my construction lines dark, just so you're able to see them on this video. And I'm also trying to keep my pencil even a little more on the dull side, so the line's a little wider, and it's just a little easier to see as well. So it might not be as accurate, but it works better for this video here. Otherwise I'd have to use a black pen. Okay. I wanted to make sure they're, yeah, so you always want the shortest side here, your seam, so your 4. So here's your 4 here, 5, 6, 7, and then you're going to be 6, 5, 4, and then you're back up to 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4 on either side. Now let's just pick up these points along here and populate these across. So it doesn't matter really where we start. I guess we can start on the 1 here, the 1. Oh, because I've only done the one side. Sorry about that. 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, it all comes off the one side anyway. Yeah, because it is just the one side. So it's not really necessary to come off the other side, but I guess we could renumber the 7s, so we'd have a 7 along the way. So we'll just use the 4 here. Something I'm a little more used to is just coming off the one side. Oh, the 4 and the 4. I always try to minimize my drawing, the amount that I'm laying out. It just saves a little bit of time. There's our 5. The 5s will be in a few locations. And our 6s. 6 there, 6 there. 6. 6. Oh, and I missed a 4 there, so go back, pick up that 4. And then back down to the 7 over here. And 7. And I notice one's missing here, so the 5. And again, that happens. There we go. Now let's go ahead and snake that in. Now this should come up to a smooth curve. It's not going to be a point, so we do have to curve this around. Bit of a difficult one. These snakes are a little fussy. Again, just trying to be as accurate as you can to pick up all those points. This is just a attention to detail. Okay, that seems to be pretty good. Okay. Now let's just go through our list. We'll mark this up. These are 2 separate patterns. So we'll start off with the your name, today's date, project name. This is a 90-degree T branch. Drawing number 3. That's a full pattern. Center line is here. Our quarter marks will be at the 7. And some shear lines, shear marks. Okay, that gets that done. Now let's move on to our hole pattern. This one's a little bit more difficult, but let's go ahead. We're back over here, and we need to put these element lines coming down. So I'm going to use this here bottom as a center, and then we'll do our hole will be right in here. Okay, so I'm going to use this base line as a center line as well. So sometimes you can put base line, and we'll use that as a center line. Okay, so let's drop these down. How far? All the way. Let's just go to the bottom of the page. Then we know we have lots. Okay. We should probably go ahead and do a numbering here. Oh yeah, over here on the other one they just went for 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so it's a mirrored image anyway, so it's going to work. So for this one here, as you flip it over, the 4 becomes on either end because you're rotating it, and the 1 and the 7 will become here. And then as you flip it over, we'll have the 3 and the 2 and the 6 and the 5. Okay. Now this pattern here is going to wrap around here, which would be this curved distance here. Okay. Everything's going to come off as center. So these lines coming down over here are already numbered from the top. And basically we're just going to take this dimension. So the more bendy or flexible your ruler, the easier it's going to be. So this one is having a tough time here without getting my head in there. That outside one seems to be about 25 to 26. So we'll call that 26 millimeters to this one. The next one will be obviously smaller than that. Looks like about 22. And then just this one here looks like it's about 12. Again, it's not the most accurate, but so all the way over for that. So the 1 and the 7, so coming 26 on here. So what is it going to do is I'm going to measure down to 26 and then up 26. Okay, because that's the wrap on here, so it needs to be this distance coming over. And as I come to the 4 at the end, this will be the 4. So the 4 is a give me at the end here. And then let's go ahead 22 for 6. And that'll be the same for 2. So 2 and 6 are the same. So I'll go 22 for that one. 22, and then I'm just going to come off center, measure 22. And 6 and 2 share the same. So we'll just come over to the 2 there, measure the 22. And then just the 12. And again, yours might measure a little bit differently, just because I might not have been able to measure accurate enough here. Okay, now the hard part. Sometimes this can get quite tight. So it's gonna try to hold that as tight as you can, and just go from not quite to center there because I don't want to peek that out. That one, my snake is already fit to the one side, so may as well flip it over. And it pretty much fits the other side perfectly there. It looks good. And then we'll just come up and finish this up here at the top. Flip that over. Let's do the bottom. Okay, there's our hole pattern. So this hole would wrap onto here and then turn over here onto that. So this is our true width here, and then this is our distance here. So then these are center lines. It's going to be very hard to put all that information in there. It's going to be pretty small. But maybe we'll skip the name and the date and everything on here. Because we do have some stuff over here, but let's put the quarter marks on here. We got our 2 center lines, so let's put the other center line on here. Let's just put some burn lines on here so we know where our line is, and we'll just try to keep this fairly clean, but maybe we'll just put hole pattern. And you can tell it's full pattern there just because it's round. So. Okay, that gets that drawing number 3 completed there. That's good. Thank you.